Welcome to Fire Breathing Kittens, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Today is a special episode as we're joined with our new member, Grizzlt. Hi, Grizzlt.
Hello, everyone.
Tell our listeners what you look like.
Grizzlt is a level 13 monk. He stands about 3 feet 2 inches tall, pale green skin. He is a little bit of an older monk. He's actually pushing about 32 to 33 years of age, so his skin getting a little bit older, a little more wrinkles than most would. He wears very traditional monk attire, so very basic, very simple, blue dyed canvas material pants with a very simple white tunic. What he does take pride in, though, is a very ornate robe that he wears over that has almost like a tapestry-like pattern in gold that is lined with a blue filigree kind of around the collar and around the sleeves. Deep red eyes and relatively long ears for a goblin.
I can't say who you look like, but I'm imagining a certain person that you look like.
That is correct, yes.
Resemblance there is.
Much resemblance there is.
All right, Grizzlt, you're a new addition to the crayon box. What color would you be and why?
If Grizzlt were to be a color in the crayon box, he would have to go with his favorite color, which is a hunter green, more of like a deeper shade of green, because that was the shade of his skin when he was in his prime, and he was just very proud of his color. And so he's very proud of himself and his accomplishments, and this is something that he would most like to project into the world.
Ah, that's sad but sweet. Yeah.
He remembers the good times.
Yeah, and what were the good times? What are your strengths, Grizzlt?
Grizzlt likes to find strength in discovering himself, and for people to discover what they're truly able to do just on their own. He's very much into self-discovery. He prides himself on the fact that everything he's done himself. He's driven himself to be a very hard worker. He's driven himself to be a very, very devout believer in what he believes in, and he very much wants to see people kind of be the best and help them be the best that they can be.
All right. Bring out your inner key by self-reflection and meditation. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And part of self-reflection is honesty. What are your weaknesses, Grizzlt?
Grizzlt is not very conscious of other people's personal space. So while he's very protective and conscious and aware of his own and people intruding his, when it comes to maybe personal effects, personal space, personal belongings of others, he's just looking in the hopes of discovering something new. If it's his or not, he might still rummage through your stuff.
Oh my God. And he's like this old man, so you can't be like, no.
100%. He's an old little goblin who's just looking through stuff that he finds new and interesting. And if it's his, cool. If it's not, he doesn't seem to care much.
Oh my. All right. Well, question 4 out of 15. By the way, this is a 15-question interview. Question 4. Grizzlt, where did you grow up?
Grizzlt grew up in Scalvert. So Scalvert is a different nation. It's a very desolate desert nation. Scalvert is a land where many goblin and nomadic tribes live, and it's known across the country, across the world almost, for its glass. So Scalvert has the finest glass, and magicians, wizards and such, apothecaries, alchemists come from all around for the glass that comes from Scalvert.
Oh.
The sand is amazing.
Can't beat it.
Exactly.
Well, Scalvert sounds awesome. Why did you come here and want to join the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild?
Grizzlt was was in the trade, in the business of helping the nomadic tribes sell their glass. He had two friends that he grew up with, basically, in the business, and they would move from nomadic tribe to nomadic tribe and help them locate the best sand deposits for making glass, and then help them, in not so many words, fence it. So during this, Grizzlt really didn't find his true meaning or his true purpose. So he decided to join up with a traveling, I guess, some unfortunately called them a cult, but some would also call them a traveling sanctuary. And there he really looked inward to try to find purpose for himself. And through, he stopped counting decades after maybe 2 decades in a goblin's life tends to be quite long, but realized that to really find one's true purpose, you really have to go explore, and you have to adventure. You can only look inward so much, and without external stimulus, you can't really decide what it is your purpose is going to be. So adventure is what Grizzlt is looking for, and he heard that there was no better organization for adventure than the Fire-Breathing Kittens, and that's why he decided to join up.
That's a great reason. I can't say if they're going to be like in town or out of town or crazy or placid, but adventures there will be.
Adventure is adventure.
All right. Question 6. If you were given a 1-minute advertisement time spot during the annual Nicomoy fighting tournament, which is a sort of Super Bowl, if you will, a sporting tournament that will be seen by everyone in town, what would you fill that time with?
It would have to be twofold, I think. One would have to be sort of I don't know if they still have these or if they have them really in Nicomoy, but do you have public service announcements in Nicomoy?
You could make one.
Yeah, there we go. One about really understanding oneself and being true to who you are on the inside. The other half would have to be for probably the finest glass in all the land. Because you can't be a proper alchemist without the best flasks.
It's true. Glassware is important.
Very important.
All right.
And Grizzle just might have an in for you if you catch his drift.
Oh, man. I mean, Rooney definitely needs glassware for all of her magical concoctions.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Question 7. What do you like doing in your spare time, Grizzle?
Oh, so much free time nowadays. When you notice that you have so much free time when you're not meditating all day long. There's so much new stuff. Too many new things in Nicomoy, and many things that I haven't seen while traveling with the sanctuary, and I do love to explore and try out new things, and definitely see what doodads and thingamajiggers that the new kids nowadays are using, and maybe inform myself a little bit on these things while also reminding younger people nowadays that we had things much, much harder back, 25 years ago.
I'm picturing alternate reality Grizzlt reaching for the youngster's phone and exploring TikTok.
100%, absolutely.
All right, question 9. I kind of don't even have to ask this, but what's your annoying habit?
I believe it's been referred to as rummaging. Rummaging is definitely a fun thing. Do you know how many interesting baubles you can find in just any chest that just so happens to be in the room that you're in? Many. Let me tell you, there are many a thing you can find when you look anywhere.
Yeah, sometimes that chest is, next to another person, but who says you can't look through it?
If they didn't tell me that I couldn't, well, I'm certainly going to. You can't blame me for being curious.
Question 10. Do you speak any other languages, Grizzlt?
Grizzle does speak, obviously, Goblin. Also Sylvan, from having to work with many different, I guess we call them races and creatures in the glass trade business. So those would be the 2 languages that I speak. Well, along with Common, so I'm sorry, 3 languages.
Yeah, useful stuff. I think we have one other goblin speaker in Fire Breathing Kittens right now, and that's it.
Oh, fantastic. It's always nice to speak one's native tongue with a friend.
Yeah, and that's Pugsley. Pugsley Akapi.
I think I've heard of Pugsley.
Question 11. So you're in the port city of Nicomoy, which is on the ocean, and to the west are forests, and north are a bit of, deserts, etc. South are swamps. Where would you like to visit?
Well, being from Skalvet, I can tell you that water is a vital resource. There's not too many. See, in Skalvet, you have most of the cities or trade towns built around oases. So just to be near a large body of water and just see the waves, feel how cool it is, actually drink the water, which is very interesting because it's salty here, and that's not something that we get a lot of in Skalvet. But I have noticed that the water is very, very peaceful. So I would be much obliged to kind of mix the two. Beaches, I think, is what it is. Well, you have my sand and we have your water, and it works out fantastically well. It's very relaxing, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We need a beach day.
I'm all for beach days.
Yes. Question 12. Oh, we're almost at the end. Silly question territory. Grizzlt, do you like pickles?
So, again, we're going to go back to Skalvet on this one, because you have to preserve a lot of food, because food does not do well in the desert. I don't know if you've been to many deserts, but I can tell you, things have to last a very long time. And preserving and pickling things is some of the best ever. So yes, Grizzlt loves pickles. Grizzlt loves pickles. Have you ever had pickled eggs? Fantastic, let me tell you. You can pickle a cucumber, obviously, for pickle. You can pickle an onion. You can pickle cabbage. You can pickle mushrooms. And then you can take your pickle ingredients and store them in some of the best Skalvet glass you can possibly get your hands on. You'd be surprised at what we try and pickle just to keep ourselves fed out in the deserts.
And gotta fill up those glass jars. I mean,
you have to fill. I mean, you cannot pickle without glass jars. It's a fact of the matter.
Yeah, the upsell. Glass jars with stuff in it.
It's very true.
Question 13. A penguin walks through that door right now wearing a sombrero. What does it say, and why is it here?
A penguin. A penguin. A penguin. A penguin. Small little black and white fellows. Mm-hmm. So I've never encountered one, but I have seen them before. And from what I understand, they do enjoy the water, and they do enjoy flying, but under the water. So I would assume if there were a penguin wearing a sombrero, that he would be inviting old Grizzlt to maybe go swim. I don't know how to swim. I can tell you that. I never wade in past my hips, for that matter, because they don't move as well as they used to. But I'd say there's going to be... He would probably be inviting old Grizzlt to that beach day we just talked about. Because he got the sombrero, he's going to block out the sun, and we're going to have a good old-fashioned beach day, which will be very new experience.
You can pack your pickles.
I will always have pickles available.
Second to last question, Grizzlt. What would you like remembered about you?
Oh, you wouldn't know how long I've been contemplating that question, both in my own mind and out loud to anyone that would listen. If anything, I would just like to be remembered for helping at least one person really discover themselves. I mean, if it's on a grander scale, that's fantastic. But really, if I can be known or remembered for helping one person, it doesn't have to be known to everyone. Maybe it's just known to that person who I helped. Then that would be enough. That would really solidify that I had purpose, that I did find my purpose, that I've been looking for darn near my entire life.
That's deep.
Yeah, a lot. Meditation gives you a lot of introspection, and you realize that even if no one knows what you've done, if one person does, that's enough.
And very last question. What is one message you would give to your fans?
Oh, come to Grizzlt for all your glass needs. But aside from that, do something nice for someone else. That is what I want. That is a message I want to pass on to everyone. Is do something nice for someone, whether it's holding a door or introducing them to something new like a beach day. Always try. And you may not get anything back for it, or it may seem as though it was a wasted effort on your part, but a good message from Grizzlt. And I'm old, so heed my words. Regardless of if you're getting anything back for it or not, do something nice for someone else.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here, folks. Thank you for joining us, Grizzlt.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. I can't wait to join in on an adventure.
And we'll see you in an upcoming adventure. Goodbye.
Bye. Goodbye.